Hey guys, meet Rose. Rose is a civil rights lawyer who protects people's civil rights. Civil rights are given to every citizen of the United States and are written in and protected by the U.S. Constitution. For example, citizens have the right to free speech and to practice any religion. Civil rights lawyers focus on the violation of civil rights. If you believed you were fired from your job based on your race or religion, you could hire a civil rights lawyer to argue on your behalf in court. Rose knew she wanted to be a civil rights lawyer after learning about the civil rights movement in middle school. The civil rights movement refers to a movement in the 1960s when non-white people were fighting for equality under the law. They had the right to vote, but people were keeping them from voting. Rose couldn't believe that all people did not have equal rights in the United States in the 1960s. There was even legal segregation in places like public transportation and in schools. Segregation was the act of separating people based on the color of their skin. The 1964 Civil Rights Act was passed by Congress and said that discrimination of employment based on race, color, sex, or national origin was unconstitutional. This means that you can't turn people away who are applying for jobs because of what they look like or where they came from. Rose's teacher quickly explained that although a lot of progress was made by the Civil Rights Act, there is still a lot of inequality in the United States. Right now, Rose is a civil rights lawyer who fights for people who believe they have had their civil rights violated. Today, Rose is meeting with Layla, a woman who claims she was fired from her job for wearing a hijab, which is a headscarf worn for religious reasons. Layla explained that the store told her that she has to remove her headscarf if she wants to work on the main floor and interact with customers. The store manager said that there is a dress code and she must abide by it. As a civil rights lawyer, it's Rose's job to prove that Layla's civil rights were violated. To do this, Rose is going to research verdicts on past cases. A verdict is the decision of a court case. It tells who wins and who loses the case. For example, the verdict would say whether someone is guilty or not guilty of a crime. Lawyers look up verdicts from the past so that they can have an example of who was guilty or innocent in similar types of cases. Rose found a case from 2015 where a young woman was denied a job at Abercrombie & Fitch because of wearing a hijab and refused to remove it while working on the floor. The court found that Abercrombie was in violation of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which says that discrimination is illegal based on race, religion, sex, or national origin. This means that Abercrombie cannot refuse to hire someone for exercising their First Amendment right to freedom of religion. Rose found another case where there was a sixth grader who was told to remove her hijab at school because there was a dress code that hats cannot be worn. The sixth grader explained to the school that she cannot remove her hijab for religious reasons. Rose used this case as an example of a decision where the court upheld the rights of the student by deciding that the student had the right to wear her hijab while attending school. Now that Rose has two cases, she is going to write out her argument that Layla's civil rights were violated when her boss said she must remove her hijab. Now it's your turn to go on an adventure and think like a civil rights lawyer.